Hello, welcome aboard the Knitty Stew podcast, episode number 2, where I'm going to chat about what I've been knitting on and see what's next on the queue, and just to basically chill and hopefully bring you along on some adventures. Today I'm coming to you live from ABBOTSFORD, BC, which is not too far. I think it's about an hour and 20 minutes south of Vancouver. I better check that actually, because I always fly in, so it's very seldom that I would drive here. But that is where I am today, to grab a hot drink and chill out with you for the next few minutes and see what everyone's up to. I took a little bit of a trip outside because it's spring here. It is so nice. We, back in my hometown of Calgary, had over like 1.5 feet of snow last week. So when I landed here in ABBOTSFORD, the trees, the grass is green, there's tulips, it's lovely. Hopefully you've got a nice warm beverage. I ventured not too far from the hotel to try something I've actually never tried before. It's a coffee chai combo from Chaiwala of London here in ABBOTSFORD, and it's the dirty chai. So I'm gonna give it a test run. Oh, that's good. Sweet, but not too sweet. Kind of like me. Oh, it could be hotter. I'm pretty sure I have like very little tissue left on my tongue because I drink, I don't know if you watched the last episode, but very, very hot Bengal spice tea, and I'm pretty sure my sense of heat is gone. So I might have to heat this up. Or drink it in 3.57 seconds. It says, take life one chai at a time. Hashtag love it. So again, I hope everyone's doing well. I have another early wake up tomorrow from 3 a.m. I believe I put my wake up for. The shuttle departure time is 5:35. Oh no, actually it's 4:35 a.m. And tomorrow I will be traveling from ABBOTSFORD to Calgary, down to Nashville, and back to Calgary, and then I'm off for a few days. I hope I'm looking in the right direction. It's too late to stop now, so if I'm really annoying and looking like off in space, then I guess I'll fix that for the next episode. So yeah, large day tomorrow, and then I have some days off, and then I start my May schedule. Full-time flying, but I have a block of vacation, which will be delightful because I made plans, and when I do that, sometimes things just don't go as they should. In aviation, we call that an IROP, so an irregular operation. During these last 4 days of flying, I had been planning a trip to go to a yarn store in Kelowna called The Art of Yarn, and I was like, oh, okay, I can get a Lime scooter. It's about an 8-minute scooter from our hotel, and I had a bunch of things in my wish list because it's my birthday month, don't you know? Birthday month. So apparently now I do like from April 9th right to my actual birthday on May 9th. I get myself little things, sometimes bigger things, but the ones that I was eyeing up is the retrosaria wool that they carry, and yeah, there was delays because of this 2.5-foot snowfall that we had in Calgary, and by the time I landed back from LAX into Calgary, the Kelowna flight had left and I wasn't able to go out there with my crew. So I do have plans to try and pick up a flight out there and another overnight in Kelowna so I can come visit the awesome people and the awesome yarn there. They just have so much woolly wool, and yeah, I'm just fascinated by this retrosaria. So I need to get my hands on it, squish some, and make my birthday dreams come true. How about I tell you what I'm wearing here? This here is my Black River Blanket Shawl by Sam Lamb. It's super light. I bring it lots of places. It's you know, your standard triangle shawl. Can you see that? Yeah. And I used Brooklyn Tweed Shelter to make it. I ended up with, this is back from, I think this is 2017. Not quite 5 skeins of shelter. It was like 4.3 skeins, and this is the sweatshirt colorway. And I love it. I love it, love it. I made a second one also for a friend I used the good old Briggs & Little hardy Canadian wool, and that was less than 3 skeins of that. And yeah, the pattern calls for, I believe, I should have had that in front of me. I ended up using a US 10.5, and on the second one, and on mine, on this one, it was a US 10. So 6mm in Canadian and 6.5mm in the second one that I made. And it's great. It's supposed to have like stripes, but I didn't put those in. And it's just a great little thing to wrap around. I also have this like leather bracelet thing that I can, because it's not that long, so sometimes I like to put this like leather wrap, and then I put it on the ends. I should have just done that in this video. I'll be right back. I will do that. Okay, so this thing, it's like a bracelet, and it's got these little push through clasp things. I mean, it looks pretty rock and roll on my wrist, but nobody wants their shawl falling off. So I'll just like use the ends, and I wrap it around a couple times. I'm pretty sure this is from the Etsy shop that I also got a needle holder from. I'll link to their account because it's very soft leather, and I just added it to my order. I think my leather pouches for my needle cases was also a birthday splurge, maybe in 2019. Yeah, so I just do that, and then I just pop it underneath my larger spot, and then it doesn't fall off my neck. Anyways, enough about my shawl. I talked about in the last episode that I was working on a cardigan for my great niece, and I finished that. The Lottie cardigan. It just, yeah, it never fails to make me happy. So I need to make a trip up to Edmonton, which is where my newest great niece is, and my other niece who I made the cardigan for. She's 3, and the other one was born in January. So just a few months old, just a wee. I love knitting baby stuff. Who doesn't love knitting baby stuff? It's so quick. And because I finished that, my monogamous knitter lifestyle, I cast on for the Woolly Thistle Hap Along. And I am happing along. Check it out. So this is Dunny Bag, Scottish, named after, I believe, a Scottish castle. And it's got, oh, it looks very airy. But actually, I guess, yeah, it is. It's light. I'm doing it in sport weight. It's just these little textured spots, but with some rest rows of just good old stockinette. And I'm making it with Canadian Briggs & Little. And so this chart, I've just been repeating it. And I increased a little bit more than the pattern called for. And then I'm going to block it. And I've used Briggs & Little several times, and it softens up really well. It just, yeah, it's good. It's rustic and it's lovely, and I'm enjoying it. I'm not officially in the knit along because it was a paid join, and I was like, I don't think I'm going to make all of the extra. They have content, like you can go to like videos with some of the contributors and Hap experts, but just with what I've been up to, I was like, yeah, I'll just unofficially knit along and post my stuff on my Ravelry. So yeah, the Dunny Bag, it's by Kate Davies, and voila, that's what I'm working on. Look at that distinguished gentleman. Yes, and I'm really digging it. It's kind of addicting because I was like, okay, if I can, oh, look at it in the green. Look at that. Oh, who does not want to be on the shores of Scotland wearing a lovely Dunny Bag? Love it. Yeah, so I am working on that because it's potato chippy, as I've heard the term. I was like, okay, if I finish these rest rows and I do the 16 row repeat, and then it's more rest rows and I can just stockinette. Yeah, and I love that. I love to just be able to just chill and not have to think too much and just really enjoy some mindless stockinette. Yeah, so I think I'm gonna work on this today. And it isn't looking like spring in Calgary where I'm from, but it will be. So I do have a couple of things on the KNITTY STEW queue, and I've been watching podcasts for a little while, and they just inspire me to be like, okay, what should I make next? And just watching and seeing what other people are up to is like, yeah, I think that's gonna go. And I've never been much of a garment knitter, but I made a summer shirt last year, and it was the crop tank by Knittitude. I'll link it below. And it turned out really good. It was like the first top that I made that actually fit really well. And what I'm looking for is something like a shirt to go underneath it. And I'm having a hard time. I'm looking for a flannel shirt because like a lightweight flannel shirt would look really cool with the, yeah, with the tee. And then next up on my queue, I've got, well, my plans were to get the Retrosaria Brusca from the Art of Yarn, which I didn't get to go do, but I will. So I've got the Troll Ha hat. I purchased it. It's by Rosa Pomar of Retrosaria, and it calls for 60 grams of the Brusca, which is their worsted weight. It's your classic dock worker, Jacques Cousteau hat, hipster hat. Okay, look at that. I love that green too. Of course, we are, yeah, I'm on a mission. I'm going to go get some of this wool. It's woolen spun, and it seems rustic, and you just got to squish it, and I want to go smell it. So I'll be doing that. Not that I need a toque, as we call it here in Canada, or anything at this moment, because it is getting warmer. But I always have the gift trunk. I love to knit for the gift trunk. And I was feeling maybe going bright. Is like a yellow. They have a bright yellow. I don't know, it might look like a pylon if I do that, but you know, someone will look good in it. I actually made my brother-in-law a neon hat with like literally safety colors, like the neon yellow and the orange. And he was a city worker. He's passed away sadly, but he loved it. And it was the Uptown worsted yarn. And yeah, I'm a big hat knitter. It's literally my favorite thing to make. And so I will cast that on, and I know that'll pop off the needles in no time. Can whip me up a hat anytime. And then after that, I've got a couple of really cool ideas that I want to use up some of my own stash without buying more yarn. So I've been watching these varieties of the ranunculus shirt, and I'm like, I think you can literally use any yarn to make that sweater. So I purchased the ranunculus pattern, and then I went into my stash and I dug out this 100% hemp by Lang Kanapa. I bought this on sale at Stash in Calgary, and it was 40% off. I was like, yeah, this color alone is called Evergreen. And it is 100% hemp, so, you know, it's not very nice on the hands to knit with, but eventually it would soften up crazy. So I was like, I think this is gonna make a beautiful ranunculus. So when I finish my Trolla hat, and then I get onto this ranunculus, give it a try, join the movement. I have 440 yards of this at home in my stash, but it's just like, it's kind of like knitting with wire, but I know how nicely it softens up. I've made stuff with like linen and hemp before, and plant-based fibers. It's worth the effort in my opinion. So we'll see. That'll be, I say my first ranunculus, like I already say it, because if it turns out as cool as some of the ones I've seen, I will likely make many, many more. I've turned into a process knitter where I was like, okay, making like 6 to 7 of the same types of things. I went on a kick of the sea train hat last year and I think I made like 8 or 9 of them. And then it becomes my go-to ribbed hat or what have you. So are you a process knitter? Has this happened in your evolution? All the things that I said I would never do, I'm starting to enjoy, including making shawls, and yeah, also socks, which is the next thing in my queue, my Knitty Stew queue. I want to make the I don't know if I want to make the socks, but I did buy the sock pattern. It's called Anya by Melody Hoffman, Bee Mandarins. Oh, I couldn't get over it. I just watched her, I don't know when the podcast was from, but I didn't get in on her test knit for the Anya socks. But I mean, oh my gosh, how cool are these? With this cool detail. Ah, look at these. Oh my gosh. Like, what? So those are in my queue in the top 3. But what I'd like to do ideally is I want to make the fingerless gloves version, which isn't out yet. But when I purchased the pattern, when you purchase this pattern, she says she will send you the fingerless mitts pattern for free. So once that's finished testing and out, it'll be showing up, and maybe that'll be just in time for me to cast on. She makes it with tuku wool, and they actually have that at Art of Yarn. But I also do have some perfect like fingering weight yarn by Bishes and Bishes. I don't really know how to say that. The lamb's wool. So I have enough to make those rustic little socks, or the fingerless gloves, which are my jam. So we'll see. We'll see how that plays out. And in the meantime, I will finish my Dunny Bag. I've been working on some visualization techniques and really trying to be intentional about my thoughts. And I think if I just like keep working on my meditation, which is something that I've been practicing, and try not to get too distracted from my eye on the prize, I'd really love, I have this one vision where I am almost like that picture on the Dunny Bag where she's standing overlooking the ocean, just getting that big wind coming in off the sea, wearing knits, of course, and like a dress. That's just an idyllic scenario for me. There's something magical about the sea. From Alberta born and raised, so I'm landlocked, but when I get out to the water, it does something to you, I'm pretty sure. So I'd love to. One time I was thinking I should rent myself a little Airbnb out in Newfoundland. Newfoundland is unbelievable. It's like another planet there. The Rock, we call it. And yeah, they have some really cool soapbox houses of various colors, and you can get to remote parts on the island. And I mean, I'm an introvert, and I think I would thrive in just being like touring the island, touring Newfoundland. Whenever I have that idea, though, it's usually at the end of at the end of the season, and trust me, they tell you nobody wants to go out to Newfoundland or the East Coast, honestly, in the winter time, because it's nuts. But during the spring and the summer, just talking about that right now makes me want to do it. Where do you like to travel? My husband wants to go to the beach. He just like anywhere hot, let's go to Mexico. We've done that, and I'm definitely leaning more towards travel, like for adventure travel. And like, let's be honest, I want to go places where there's like knitting history, etc. Like the Faroe Islands. Holy, Iceland, haven't been there yet. And just basically, you know, anywhere you go that's in the Baltic area, I'd love that. So that's on the list. Currently, I'm in Abbotsford, which is one province over. But that's okay, I'm still having a good time, staying healthy, and yeah, just enjoying life. Pretty simple. I wanted to show you one thing that I purchased this week. Not that exciting as far as acquisitions go, but I bought these little needle stoppers, and they're the squishy ones. I had one given to me by my husband's gran, and there's something about old rubber, like it can get really, really hard over time, and one of them went missing, and the other one I was like, you know, when I stuff these in my project bag and then put it in my suitcase, that would really suck if I lost my stitches at the end. So I got these little stoppers. Don't judge me, I got them on Amazon because I wanted them really, really fast, and Michael's across the street and local yarn stores, I've been finding them, and they were like $6. So that was my latest purchase. Actually, very restrained of me. Right on. Well, I put up on my Instagram that if you had any questions or flight attendant questions, anything that I can share, I will be more than happy to. And I'm just hoping that you enjoyed some cozy knitting time with me today. This wasn't a very exciting video, but I mean, I don't know. Do I need to be exciting? Define exciting. The fact that I am powering my way through a hap is exciting. And if you're here, maybe that's your jam too. That's your kind of excitement. All right, everyone. Well, I hope you were able to sit back, relax, and enjoyed our little chat today. And happy knitting. Would love to have you on the chat and in the comments. Let me know what you're making, and we'll see you in a couple weeks.